Evo Wagon is finally what the Evo Wagon should have always been. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, and as you can see beside me, this is my Evo Wagon. It didn't come like this from the factory. We took a mail carrier Lancer base model wagon and we took a wrecked Evo, smashed them, and we made this unit right here. Evo wagons are pretty rare. There's only about 2,500 of them ever produced from the factory in Japan. They were all right-hand drive. A lot of them stayed in Japan. Some of them got imported to like the UK, other places in Europe. A couple got sent to Australia. Our boy at Artec actually has one in Australia. Crazy thing is, some of them were automatic with like some weird engine setup. But this is actually one of, I'm pretty sure, 2 left-hand drive conversions in the United States. We're gonna start working on it today. It has a couple issues. You ready to start it? If it starts, we're gonna go drive it. This thing has some issues. It is a fully built 2.3 liter stroker, pistons, rods, valve springs, retainers, billet camshafts. It has a crazy D-Works fuel system, 2200cc injectors, Artec turbo manifold, a Turbo Smart wastegate, and a Garrett G3770 turbo. And this thing should make a ton of power. As of right now, it makes probably about as much as the starter motor will make, which might be like maybe 1 pound, 1 foot-pound of torque. Sometimes it starts, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it runs. Most of the time it just doesn't. I think we might have a solution for this issue. It's getting rid of this thing right here. What this is a factory ECU. This car is from 2006. The ECU was probably produced, you know, sometime around 2006. Who knows what has happened to it. The car that we got it from was in an accident. We actually tuned this car on the stock turbo, and I think we actually set a world record with our boy Steve at Divulge. It made like 550 foot-pounds of torque on the stock turbo. Because it's a 2.3 stroker, it hit all the boosts like 30 pounds and just completely fell off and felt like a stock car at like high RPM. I think we were literally just choking the engine. The reason we dynoed it with the stock turbo is because we didn't have the complete package for the big turbo setup. I wanted to drive it, so we had everything just to bolt the stock turbo on. And we really wanted to just see what this thing would make on a stock Evo 9 turbo. After we came back, we decided we wanted to install the Artec turbo manifold, the Garrett G3770 turbo, make a custom downpipe, get all the AC lines and everything working. Then we were getting ready to go back to the dyno, and we got busy. Life got busy. So behind my back right now, I think we might have the solution that might get this thing running and driving. And that is, drum roll please, an aftermarket ECU. So shout out to Jimmy Oaks at shopjimmyo.com. He is actually the Link dealer that I purchased this from. I needed one in a hurry, and I literally called him and I was like, hey, how fast can we get one? He's like, I will freaking overnight you one, bud. So he did. He pushed some buttons, and this thing showed up. This is only going to be a piece of the solution. Obviously, the main thing that you have to do when you have an aftermarket ECU is have a tuner that is comfortable with tuning that aftermarket ECU and being fully capable. I guess the base maps that they provide you with, or that are available for these things for the Evos, are not that good. Our boy Steve at Divulge actually has a little over, he said about 1,000 hours in tuning Link ECUs on Evos. And so he has about 40 base maps on different configurations. He said he has one that is super dialed, and he should be able to send me one here shortly. But I'm really curious if we'll be able to get this thing like just started, like if we could just plug it in, turn the key and it starts, or if this thing is just gonna be as finicky as he says. We're gonna plug this thing in and we're gonna see what happens. So I've never messed with a Link before, so I got the software installing right here. Start messing with that. Pretty familiar with ECU Master, a little bit of Holly, Hondata, stuff like that. Open this guy up, comes in the little bag, has an internal map sensor. What you do is you use the case of the stock ECU to actually slide this in. So if my thinking is correct, I think we'll just bend these tabs right here, and then this thing should just fall out. All right, who's gonna lose a finger first, you or me? Oh my goodness. So 2 knives, give me 2 knives instead of 1. Okay, get out of here, get out of here.
One that you're not holding too.
Don't freaking cut me. Don't cut me.
Toss that in there.
Don't cut me, boy. Charles is over here trying to cut me. I'm just
trying to help, pal.
Oh, look at that. Buddy. Oh. Doesn't smell nice, but like, look at that. There's like, it looks almost like it got wet. And it's like bulged, kind of, which I don't know if that's like a internal dampened capacitor thing. I don't know. All right. Like that looks like like you drill a hole inside of the ECU, and then this little connector thing pins into the side, so that way this thing's kind of in there. The other thing that we have is an expansion loom, because if you want to get a couple more inputs, outputs, things like that, and then we'll have to drill a hole outside, you know, outside of this thing to get that in there too. So the hose. Don't talk about it. So that's it. We have our expansion loom, we have our USB, and we have our little sucky boosty right there. It plugs right in, like there's not even a link hiding in there.
Buddy, I'm gonna laugh when this thing starts right up.
And why are you gonna laugh? Because it's just like, and then maybe we should have done this like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Like maybe we should have just done this 2 years ago, and then we would have had a running car this whole freaking time.
So how does this compare to other tuning softwares that you used?
It looks different. It looks different.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't like it.
How are you feeling? Are you excited?
I'm excited. Well, we needed an unlock code. It was locked. Good thing Jimmy's in Japan right now, and I guess he's still awake, because I texted him and he texted me the unlock code like 5 minutes later.
Wow.
So shout out to Jim. I want to turn off the fan. The fan is running right. That's what I'm trying to do, is turn off the radiator fan, because it's just on.
Well, good luck with that, pal, and I wish you luck. I don't know anything about this, nor do I want to, and I'll see you later.
So Steve sent me the map. I uploaded it to it. The fan turned on again. I turned off the fan.
I'm a little bit anxious about this.
I think all we do, should we just try to start it?
Dumb question, but does it have fuel?
Yeah. It has a quarter of a tank.
All the injectors were unplugged.
Okay. How long? How long have they been unplugged?
Well, I feel like when we thought it flooded, so we were trying to clear it out. And so now we're just gonna see what it does. You ready?
Oh my God! Feel, doctor?
I mean, it runs as a little bit lean. I wish I knew.
Oh, and then it died, and we're good.
We're just going for a drive. It's a little bit lean right now. Like just, I haven't got into any boost yet, so we don't know.
Yeah, it is a little bit lean.
So it'll need a little bit of tuning, but as of right now, it runs and drives.
Eric, how do you feel?
This is awesome. Such a vibe.
This is
Look
awesome.
at that. Just cruising.
Just hanging out.
We put smaller tires on it too.
Oh yeah, it doesn't rub anymore.
And it doesn't rub and make a bunch of noise. Because that bugged the crap out of me.
Oh, big time.
It's nice that it runs and then it starts again. Like it ran fine before, but it just didn't start. Or restart.
Yeah. Buddy. Yeah.
It sounds insane. Can you believe this thing just sits around the shop?
I know. That's like what's
dust for the past 2 freaking years. Maybe all I needed was an ECU. The Evo Wagon is kind of back for now. At least it starts. And again, it was always pretty decent when it ran. On this turbo setup with the old tune type of thing, which obviously it was tuned for boost. I think the most boost we ran through it was like 15 pounds on this turbo. So when it actually gets on the dyno, we'll probably put a 20-pound spring in the wastegate. So the minimum boost it'll run is 20 pounds. And then it'll probably go up to like 36 to maybe 40 pounds of boost on this thing. Because at the end of the day, it's a fully built 4G63, 2.3 stroker, 2200cc injectors. This thing should freaking rip. Like, it should make a lot of power. I think it should make close to 700 is kind of what I'm guessing. And I feel like a little bit silly for this thing sitting around, but we're gonna team viewer with Steve a little bit tomorrow when we get back to the shop and kind of make sure all the sensors and everything are working. Obviously we want to make sure like the idle works, hook up flex fuel sensor, hook up the wideband, to make sure that it works overall, so that way when we get it to Steve's shop, he could throw it on the dyno and do what he needs to do, and without having to like chase issues and like pin this sensor and, oh, why isn't this thing working and stuff like that. So we're gonna get that all figured out, but overall pretty stoked that this thing is finally running right. See you guys tomorrow. All right, so we are on the phone with Steve from Divulge. He's actually going in and basically logging into the computer, adjusting a bunch of settings from the base map that he sent me, and getting it all set up for the Evo 9, because this was actually an Evo 8 base map that he did. So we're setting up some VVT stuff, making sure all that's working, and then hooking up like the wideband. Link is a lot more complicated than ECU Master. It's a lot more involved. There's a lot more tables, there's a lot more stuff. So I'm glad he's just kind of, and I'm just watching everything he's doing. I'm like, okay, he's adding this, he's doing this, he's, you know, just all the settings, where he's adjusting them at. It just looks completely different, and I've never even looked at it. So it's cool to watch him cruise through here. So we're gonna go ahead and fire it up, back it out, and then let him kind of play with some more stuff. Not really like smashing the pedal to the floor. I'm gonna roll into it, look at the air fuel, and if it looks good, I'm gonna continue. That was good. Maybe a little bit lean. It was like 12.7, but you know, lean is mean, so probably a little bit of fuel in there. The idle catch is nice. Man, this thing sounds so good. See how much boost we're making too. I think we're about 14 pounds. Ooh, she freaking rips. So air fuel was pretty good. It dipped to about 12.0 during that pull with a little bit more throttle percentage. Previous, I think, you know, it's probably like 60-70%, but when you go 100%, I think it changes it a smidge, you know. Stock ECU when it ran. So like, it ran good when it ran. Man, just listen to it. It's like a freaking go-kart. Oh man. Alright. The Evo Wagon is finally what the Evo Wagon should have always been. And that's only 14 pounds. This thing's gonna probably be on 30 something, 30 plus, which is probably going to be like, you know, 600 and at least 600 horsepower. Right now she's probably 4 something at 14 pounds. It's good. So 14 pounds. Air fuels and everything are super solid. And so I'm gonna send off the log to Steve. I said I wasn't gonna rip on it unless it was good, but then it was good, so then I decided to give it a rip. I think the rev limiter is pretty low on it too. I think it's at like 7,500, so I think we should be able to rev it a little bit higher too. But yeah, as of now, that's a really good base map to allow us to move it around, drive it around, enjoy it for a little bit, and then we need to put more fuel pump in here, and then we got to take it to the dyno and put this thing on 30 pounds. Man, the Evo Wagon is back. It's gonna be really good once we get everything all dialed in it. These wheels look a little bit funny though, right?
Yeah, this is this like the winter beater set or something?
Yeah, it's like the winter beater, daily driver, whatever set. But we literally took the wheels off of it and we put them on another little bit of a project. Not this one though. So this is actually our last giveaway, which was the turbo all-wheel drive RSX. Steven from New Jersey has actually been confirmed as the winner. Congrats to Steven on winning the 600 horsepower all-wheel drive RSX, which was supposed to be my daily. You know, we talked about it being the daily. We just kind of ran out of time on that build, and that kind of leads us into something else, which has been another project that we have been building in the background, which was this guy right here. Yeah, that's a freaking pig right there. What do we do?
We worked at a farm, buddy.
So I guess this is the neighbors. And I guess he doesn't listen. They just gave up, I guess. So now he's just, what is that?
It's a rag.
Oh, yeah, clean yourself off, buddy.
Now I want a pig and a raccoon.
Yeah, I want a pig too. You want a pig?
I do.
Everybody wants everything until they have it, and then they're like, well, yeah,
He's just cruising.
eating everything.
All right, bye, buddy.
Later, dude.
And that was a pig.
I guess that's the, maybe we got a shop pig. It'd be kind of cool if we didn't have to take care of him all the time, and if he showed up every once or twice a month, you know, and we got a little pig update for y'all.
Chris P. Bacon.
Crispy bacon. So this is our 2006 Evo 9, which is project build giveaway, which launches today. As you guys are watching this video, we're doing 50 times entries for a chance to win this car plus some cash. If you guys like the builds like this, where they're kind of like simple in the background, it's gonna be what we're gonna try to do a little bit more so with the giveaway stuff. Obviously, we're not rich. We can't go out and just buy a brand new car from the dealership, put some wheels and coilovers on it and give it to one of you guys. You know, we're kind of a small company, and anybody who actually purchases during the giveaways and stuff like that, it really supports the channel and allows us to continue doing what we're doing. So really appreciate all the support on these, and we're gonna keep doing them because we got to. But let's take this in for a rip.
So what does this thing have on it?
This thing has a FP red turbo, a 3-inch Greddy exhaust, some FIC injectors, a fuel pump, tune with electronic boost controller, and a 3-inch or 3.5-inch aluminum intercooler with some upgraded piping. It's crazy going from the Evo Wagon, how it's like, you know, it's a little bit crazier, doesn't idle as smooth, doesn't feel as smooth, it's not as quiet inside. Like, this just feels like a stock car with extra power, which is like what you want. And
it feels really smooth, really planted.
Oh, look at more deer. What's up with the freaking deer around here, lady? Look at them.
Hi guys. Yeah, I don't know. We're staring directly into the sun too, so that's a little sketchy.
I mean, yeah, because we were getting ready to rip this thing too.
Okay, all right, dude.
Buddy, we're on 265 100 tread wear tires.
I didn't realize they were 100 tread wear.
A freaking Evo, buddy.
I didn't realize they were 100 tread wear, buddy.
We're fine. We're fine. The previous owner of this thing, you know, simple little mods, obviously. FP red turbo, injectors, electronic boost controller, 3-inch intercooler, and it's on, I think, about 16, 17 pounds of boost on an FP red turbo. So decently sized turbo. I think the turbo will flow up to, you know, 500 and some horsepower. So it's nice because it gives you that like instant response. Because, you know, if you have a 4-cylinder car and you have a big turbo on it, you have a lot of lag. Whereas with an Evo, you have the all-wheel drive, you have all this stuff. It's nice to drive it with the torque. And this thing makes good torque. Like,
okay. Yeah, it just wants to go.
feels really good. And these cars are so light, like they feel like just a go-kart, you know, like literally a street go-kart.
Dude,
like how good does this feel? Like we're we're cruising, like Charles is stressed right now.
I mean, and we're just, now that like we're past the initial shock of you driving it, like this feels planted, and now I'm like decently confident.
And I'm at like 10% throttle.
Yeah, we're just ripping.
Sick little car. I definitely want to get it on Steve's dyno, have him double check the tuning, and I mean, it feels solid. There's nothing in it that gives me any concerns, and the crazy thing is, you guys can win this thing. We gave away 700 horsepower Evo before, and you know, my Evo Wagon is, you know, giving away high horsepower cars, there's always like a risk. You know, like when we do giveaways, I want to do something that is good. Like it's a good car, doesn't stress anybody out. They can literally hop in it and drive it wherever. And the freaking RSX stressed me out so much trying to make it that car, trying to make it a good car that made a lot of power that is good to drive on the road. So it stressed me out. It took a long time. And that's why on this giveaway, we just chose an Evo, because inherently it is a good car. It's engineered from the factory to be this way, and it just has a little bit of extra power. So hopefully you guys are stoked on this giveaway. I'm pretty stoked on it too. I really want to see what this thing sounds like from the outside. So let's do a little flyby. It's so smooth. It is so smooth. It's such a good car. Like part of me wishes my Evo Wagon was just this, like just a car that was stock with a little extra power, because that thing gets finicky, it's a little wild, you know. It's got big camshafts, it's got pistons and rods and a big turbo and all that stuff. It just shifts good too. Looking out the back and seeing that wing, it's a different feeling. We still haven't even put the coilovers on it. It's still on the stock suspension right now. Stock suspension with lowering springs, which isn't the best thing. So hope you guys are stoked on this thing. Again, really appreciate the support on the giveaways. If you know, if YouTube paid more, if we were able to make it happen, we would probably just focus a little bit more on like building cool cars for the channel. But as you can tell, pretty much all other automotive YouTubers, this is like almost what we have to do in order to be able to do what we're doing with like buying the cars and having employees and having shops and having, you know, literally just spending the money on these cars, which obviously I know that, you know, these cars at the end of the day are for us. You know, they're like my cars, the business's cars. But one of the things that we love about YouTube is just being able to share that experience with you guys, show you the builds, show you everything else. It's kind of the new standard. So if you guys do get entered in the giveaways, I really appreciate it. And if you can't afford to right now, I totally understand. But you know, just watching the videos, liking the videos, sharing, we really appreciate it. And see you guys in the next one.